Hi, my name is Hugo Garrido. I'm a young adult and I'm 20 years old. I'm into nursing school and I'm doing an interview conducted by my brother Hugo, who is behind the camera. And yeah, let's start.
Have you ever migrated anywhere? Where?
Personally, I kind of never really migrated anywhere. When I was a kid, I used to travel with my parents, and one time I did go to Turkey, and we stayed there for quite a bit of a long time. And actually, at the time, we were kind of in the process of possibly even migrated to Turkey. But yeah, no, I never really fully migrated anywhere.
Did you feel welcomed in the countries slash regions you lived in?
Yes, I have been very welcomed in all the countries I have been to. I have traveled quite a bit. They're very welcoming to the tourists. In terms of migration, when I was in Turkey, for example, and I stayed there for like almost, I think, a full month, and I was at the time in the process of possibly staying there. They were really welcoming. So I feel like in Europe, at least, it's a very welcoming place. In some other regions, they could be a little bit harsher, but I think it's pretty okay. Yeah.
What are the biggest differences between those countries?
I think it was mainly the culture was really different. So I think all around Europe there's a couple of little differences, but it is pretty much the same kind of ideology. But in places like Turkey and stuff, in Asia or Africa, it's usually very different from what you're used to. The core values of people are usually the same. They are usually very welcoming to tourists, I would say, to most places. I don't really see a lot of discrimination out there to tourists. You know, if you are from a different place, or if you are from there, sometimes could be quite harsh. But yeah, I think the differences were in the culture mainly.
Nowadays, which country do you think has the most migrants coming in?
I would say not necessarily a specific country because I'm not aware of the actual numbers, but I would say probably America and Europe as to the main continents. Countries, I would say in Europe probably like Germany, France, England, maybe Italy as well. But yeah, probably America is the one who's always getting more and more migrants to there because there's the American dream, and so I feel a lot of people try their luck outside their own country. It's quite hard sometimes to get a job in your country. For example, for someone in my age, I think it's pretty normal to assume that sometimes your future might be elsewhere than your own country.
In your opinion, do you see migration as an advantage to the modern world? What could be the side effects of it?
I would say that it's definitely an advantage because in a lot of countries you don't really get a choice as to what you do sometimes, even in life. And I think having the possibility to go to other countries and having better jobs, a better life, it's really a good thing. I would say the side effects of migration are probably related to economics. If you have a country like, for example, Portugal, which is usually, you know, called an old country because a lot of the young people and the young adults leave the country, they migrate outside of the country, and so we get a lot of old people, which sometimes it's a really bad thing for a country, and economically it could be a bad thing. Consequences could also be good because as well, we have a lot of incoming to Portugal, a lot of incoming Brazilians. It's kind of a weird thing, but they usually take up the worst paid jobs. A lot of people think that they are consuming those jobs that should be for other people, but I think it's good to have people who want to work in those jobs because it helps also have more people here to do stuff. You know, it's. I think there's good and bad consequences to it.
Do you think international migration promotes xenophobia?
I think international migration could be related to a little bit of the problem with racism and xenophobia. I think it's easy to assume that it could be related. I can understand that sometimes when someone comes to your country and they start taking up your supposed jobs and stuff, I can see why people can be mad about it and start to create problems. So I would say that there's a relation there, but I would say also that there's a bigger relation between xenophobia and racism with your own personality and your own ways of being a person. I don't think it's that much related to migration as itself.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah,
Hi.
yeah.
Hi there.
I feel like,
Hope you like it.
yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.